Hi friends, I hope you all are doing great. It's me, Nikki here, and I am excited to share with you today some of my tips on things that you can do to help have a smooth traveling holiday vacation. So if you're traveling for the holidays, I hope these holiday travel tips will be helpful. So let's jump right in. So friends, tip number one is if you're traveling for the holidays, don't wrap your Christmas gifts. I would hate for you to beautifully wrap those Christmas gifts, put them in your suitcase, and then when you go through TSA and they want to do a check on you and they will open them. And so you don't want to get in a situation where they're unwrapping your gifts and things like that. So what I would do is I would just wrap the gifts when you get there. A great tip is to, instead of wrapping when you're traveling, to use gift bags because those are flat and you can just put them right into your suitcase. The other great thing about them is you can put the ribbon, if you want to tie a ribbon on them. And there's so many beautiful ways these days to make a gift bag look beautiful. You know, you can really embellish it and it still can be just as pretty as a fully wrapped gift. And so I encourage you to not wrap your gifts before you get to your location. So friends, my next tip when traveling around the holidays, because traveling around the holidays is a tricky time too, so many things can happen, have travel insurance. So you just definitely, it is so worth it to pay the extra to cover yourself in the event. And I know this from experience. We had a trip planned right before the pandemic hit off, we were going to Africa with friends. And right before our trip, that's when everything shut down. And so having travel insurance is just huge in those situations because it saved us a lot of money of not losing a lot of money. And so you definitely want to just take that extra precaution, especially in this high risk. I consider holiday travel a high risk travel time when it comes to things happening. And so you really want to make sure you're covered. So get that travel insurance. So my next tip, friends, is to think about using an alternate airport. You know, you think sometimes when you go into a location, you're trying to fly as close to that location or directly into that location, but there's oftentimes smaller airports or other airports that make more sense and may not be as hectic to fly into, and it may be a small commute to get to where you're going, may not be too much of a headache. So I would say just consider it. So when you're looking at your travel plans, consider those alternate airports. My next tip, friends, is to plan your taxi, your Uber, your Lyft ahead of time. You know, you can go on the app, you can preset it, pre-plan it. Go ahead and lock that in so it's ready to go so that you don't have any issues when it's time. When you arrive to your location, if there's, just anything happen. So if you at least have that done, it takes the stress off also of trying to do that while you're in the airport, trying to figure it out. You can have it preset. And it's one less thing that you have to do. And as I always preach, create a lifestyle where you have to make the least amount of decisions because that's how you reduce your stress. Another thing I would say is to avoid the peak times of travel. There's certain days that you just do not want to be in the airport. You do not want to be traveling. And for this year, I think it's like the 20th and the 21st of December and also Christmas Eve. Those are like the times that you want to just try to avoid traveling because when you travel on those peak times, you're just opening yourself up for more potential issues, flight cancellations, all kinds of things. The airports are crazy. So if you can plan around that, sometimes just planning your trip 2 or 3 days earlier is all it takes to really have a smooth travel. And having a smooth travel can really affect how you feel when you get to your location, especially if you're going somewhere far. So definitely think about just maybe adding a day or taking away a day so you don't have to travel during those peak times. My next tip, friends, is to check the COVID restrictions or requirements rather. So wherever you're going and wherever you're flying or train or whatever you're doing, just make sure that you check to see what you're required to do as far as COVID. And that way you don't have any surprises, you don't have any hiccups. It's just one thing to do to make sure that your travel plans really go smoothly. My next tip, friends, is to have a plan B. You never know what can happen. Your flight can get canceled. I hope that happens to no one this travel season, but the likelihood, you know how things are. And so you just want to have a plan B. If this happens, this is what the plan is. And so just taking a little time to come up with a secondary plan in the event of is really something that can really help keep smooth travel plans and not disrupt your holiday. So I definitely encourage that. My next tip, friends, is to watch the weather. You can go on weather.com and see 10 days out. Not that it's always going to be exact, that's the exact weather, because it is a prediction. So, but at least you can see 10 days out and start monitoring the weather just to make sure that there are no potential hiccups. If you see that something comes up where it's a little questionable, it's then where you can really start maybe looking at plan B a little sooner. But definitely, a couple days out, 10 days out, start looking at the weather for your travel plans as it relates to your specific travel plans. My next tip, friends, is to plan way ahead as far as you can. That way you can save time, you can save money and stress. Also, when the closer it gets to the holidays, it's harder to lock into things. So you definitely want to start thinking now of what you want to do for Christmas, especially if you want to do things like go to a cabin. It's hard to get a cabin right now for Thanksgiving because people, book those things a year out in advance, so you really want to start, if there's things that you want to do with your family, as soon as you have that thought that's what you want to do, start planning and start implementing those plans so that you can lock those things in, because everybody's thinking like you. And so you definitely, not everybody's thinking like you, but everybody is in plan mode for the holidays. So you don't want to miss out. Another tip, friends, is when you're traveling, have all of your travel documents and double check, triple check for not only you, for the entire family. Even, my husband and my brother and my son, they used to always tease me because I would have to physically see their passports and everything and see where they're at before we walked out the door. And although they may felt like I was treating them like a baby, I was like, I am not going to get stuck somewhere. And then one of you say, oh man, I left my passport. So I'm like, I'd rather be safe than sorry. And so I encourage everyone to do that. Check each other out. It's just like I'm always about those second pair of eyes. I love people to do it to me, and I love to do it to someone else. So we make sure that we're covered. So when it comes to your travel documents, make sure you check that you have everything that you're required to have when it comes to COVID, passport, ID, all of that. And make sure that you have it in a kind of an easy place to pull in and out when you're traveling in the airport and things like that. I love a travel wallet for that. Also, I did check out my Instagram, AtHomeWithNikki. I recently did a wallet organization where you can see, and it's also, I think, here on YouTube, where you can see how I have my wallet set up. So it's like a travel wallet, but it's a compact pocket planner, and it works really well. It holds my passport, it holds my COVID card, my IDs, credit cards, all that stuff, all in one spot. So definitely have your stuff so they can easily access it. I also encourage you to make a copy of those items and keep that somewhere separate from in your wallet, just in the event if something happens, your wallet gets stolen or something happens, you still have a copy of your actual documents on you, with you and on you. So that's just something that I would do as a secondary precaution. Another tip is to definitely create that packing list so that you know that you're not missing out on any of the items that you need. And another thing that you can do is once you pack everything, anything that you need, you can set that packing list on your counter. And that way, as you're passing by, you can just kind of go to the store that day, but you know that you have everything that you need. And also definitely go to AtHomeWithNikki.com. I have my travel packing list and packing planner bundle that you can get, and that will help you. It has a pre-made packing list and all the things that you need to be ready for your travel. And then finally, friends, one thing that I recommend to really have a beautifully organized travel is to pack early. Don't wait to the night before your trip to start packing, because it can really build that stress, because you may forget, oh, I needed a toothbrush or I needed this. And it's kind of at the late part of it, so you're having to run to the store. It's just overwhelming. It's stressful, and it's not the way you want to start off your trip. So I encourage you to start packing early. The beautiful thing about packing, you can pack it and sit it to the side, and then that way the day you leave, you just grab your suitcase, but you know that you have everything that you need. So pack ahead of time, just definitely not the day before. So friends, I hope that these tips have helped. I hope that you all are doing great. If you're not subscribed to the At Home with Nikki family, definitely click that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, I would love for you to click that like button to let me know. Also, join me on Instagram and Amazon Live. Every Friday, I am live on Amazon at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can go to AtHomeWithNikki.live to check me out there. So I hope you guys will come and be a part of the Friend Girls and the Friend Gents group. We have a lot of fun over there. Also, I want to to let you know over here on this channel that if you're an aspiring professional organizer, I have my master course is out and it is ready to roll for you. And if you're needing some guidance on starting your business, what my master course does is it is a working course. So it's not just me talking to you about starting your business. You are physically creating and doing all the things needed to put your business together. And by the end of the master course, you are ready to take on that first client and your business is set up and established. Also, if you're a professional organizer, but you feel like your business has not quite done what it's need to do for you, this is a great master course to really help you hit that reset button and start over fresh. And not really start over, but get your business where you want it to be. So I'll put the link to my master course down below, and I hope it can be helpful to so many of you who are looking to get into the field. So friends, have a beautiful day. Be safe if you are traveling this holiday season. I hope that you all are having a beautiful start to your holiday season. I will see you at the next video. And this is Nikki saying goodbye.